I don't know if it's the land from down under, but it is a beautiful, beautiful property. We're going on a discovery tour, and I'd like everybody that's listening that is an accredited investor, and this is for accredited investors only, although you don't have to be a rich, rich person, and I think that's really what is unique about opportunities. Now, before the break, I was speaking with Alex Wilson about business opportunities, because I'm a business guy. I want to own something that will generate income for me and perhaps for my heirs, and maybe perhaps for a very, very long time, leaving a legacy in place. Alex, you've discovered something that is remarkable, and that is really two business opportunities in Central America, timber and coconuts. Can you explain how people can turn timber into cash?
I can, and before I do that, let me just hit on your point, business. Timing is critical. We all know that in any endeavor. But just imagine we're sitting here today in Southern California, and whatever it was, 100 or so years ago, someone says, let's go west. And people across the country were going, are you crazy? Right. And so we're talking about a Central American country, Nicaragua today.
Are you crazy?
Are you crazy? And so my point is, the timing is absolutely perfect. If you look at the economics of Nicaragua, if you go online and check their numbers out, they're growing at 4% a year, actually almost 5% a year. Who's being attracted to that part of the world? Well, all the entrepreneurs from Europe, from those high tax countries, from Asia, even from North America. I mean, billions and billions of dollars, Ray, of businessmen are investing billions of dollars into Nicaragua.
Have the Chinese gotten into the act yet?
The Chinese are in on the act with a $50 billion inter-ocean canal. It's already started, and now the groundbreaking of that is underway. So from a business perspective, critical timing, be in the right place at the right time. You must study this country, Nicaragua. Forget what you remember of 35 years ago, but study that. So let's get to the agricultural side of things today. Let's talk about coconuts, and let's talk about this thing that I call precious timber. This is very valuable stuff, Ray. It's geographically the most perfect location to grow these things. We have 360 days of sunshine, and we have 70 inches of rain, and we have temperatures that are always between 85 and 95 degrees, volcanic soils. So a tree like a mahogany tree that would take 40 years to grow in North America is cut in half, in fact less than half, 15 to 18 years. So if the average return on timber is mid-teens, when it takes 40 years, could you imagine what the returns are like when it's half the time? And now we're into planting coconuts in Nicaragua. We're the largest coconut grower in the entire Central American region, because the coconut over the last decade has found its way into hundreds and hundreds of different products, from biofuels to beauty products to water to all kinds of things. And so talk about having the right combination of aspects with the right location, the right soils, and a growing population that's going to need more natural commodities.
So you're offering a business opportunity. You're just not selling real estate. You're offering a business opportunity for individuals who want to get involved in the farming business, but I don't know squat about farming.
Well, timber and agriculture has been an asset class that, you know, the quote-unquote super wealthy have used
Sure.
for centuries. Why not? My take on this is, why not guys like me? Why not guys like your audience? We can also be part of that. We can own the dirt in Nicaragua where we want to own the dirt. Do we want to be growing mahogany trees in Southern California? Not particularly. But do we want to go to a part of the world where it allows us to own the real estate? I like tangible assets. I'm not into funds and all of those different things. I like to own what I own in my portfolio. And so what I'm saying is, inside of my plantations, we have many, many thousands of acres, I will subdivide and deed to the long-term investor. And it's key, the long-term investor, because you can't get into timber or coconuts for a year or so. If you're going to really make these profits and these returns, you really need to stick with it. And let's face it, as an asset class inside your portfolio, don't you want something that is going to perform well for a long period of time? That's how you create wealth. So my opportunity is very simple. First of all, come down, discover the opportunity, discover the country, discover all of the things that we do with our unbelievable staff. I mean, the staff are amazing. You're going to love the country. You're going to love our staff. You're going to love the excitement and the adventure of it. But then you're going to say to yourself, I need something like a loss avoidance asset class in my portfolio. I want something stable. I want something that performs well. And I want something that's going to be with me a long time.
Jeremy Grantham manages, $150 billion for GMO. And he's quoted as saying that timber is really the only, I think, you would know the quote better than me, but the only safe, high-yielding investment. Am I saying that right?
He calls it the best long-term investment there is and the only low-risk, high-return asset class.
Which is amazing. And when we talk about high return, it's a mid-teen type of return historically.
Well, and he also says this, things that people that are not familiar with, if they're not familiar with the asset class, they avoid it. So my point is, let's make people familiar with it. Because once you learn about this, you will say to yourself, I wish I'd have had this in my portfolio much sooner.
Yeah, I want to talk about coconuts because for those of us that are of retirement age, I'd like to convert some of the cash, the idle cash, into income. Can you give me the income model if I own a coconut farm?
Absolutely. Inside of our coconut plantation, if you own a number of coconut trees, depending upon the size of your income needs, we'll tailor build a plan for you. But I call this tree the agricultural annuity tree. These nuts come off of the tree every single year, like clockwork. They start producing in year 4. By year 6, they're fully mature. 60 years, Ray, the tree produces for. How do you like to have a commodity that the world has a huge demand for across uncorrelated markets where every year you get paid for taking that product to the marketplace? I think it's a perfect combination. We're growing them, we're excited about entering this space, and we have an opportunity for the average investor to own their own coconut real estate plot inside of a plantation that we manage.
And you manage it for us, and if I invested, say, $100,000, how many trees do I get? What kind of a income? Can you go through that?
Absolutely. You get 6 acres, deeded acres, with 600 newly planted trees. Then we will make sure that those trees are grown properly, obviously, because the way it is, it's just like a real estate transaction. You own a condo and you have a property manager. You own a plot of timber, you own a plot of coconuts, and then you have us manage it. And then when we find the buyer at harvest time for you, we'll do all of the transaction. We get a management fee, you get the balance. It's a 75-25 split.
Is it hard to find the buyers? That would be one of my concerns if I own a business, absentee ownership, say, for example. How do you know there's always going to be a buyer?
Well, first of all, I'm building my own processing plant for coconuts because that's how dedicated I am to this business. But I get calls frequently from buyers. In fact, I got a call 2.5 years ago. It was one of the reasons I got involved in the business, where a buyer was looking for 20,000 additional coconuts a day. He had 20,000 nut shortage on a daily basis. So we have no problem with buyers. Buyers need coconuts because, like I said, whether it's activated carbon, whether it's water, whether it's coconut oil, whether it's shampoo, whether it's biofuel to fly planes around the world, whether it's the basket that your wife's going to buy to do some gardening and she's going to put some little flowers in it, there's all kinds of products that the coconut is used for.
Alex Wilson. Again, this is for accredited investors. Join us on the Discovery Tour. It's November 14th through the 16th. Alex will make sure you have a great time. And if not, I'm going to bring my guitar and serenade you, which may really destroy the entire environment. But I promised I would do that. If you'd like information, go to info@precioustimber.com, info@precioustimber.com, or call Alex at 855-888-6288. We didn't have a chance to run the disclaimer, but I want to make sure that people understand that Alex is not selling anything. He wants you to discover, and then, hey, we're all big boys and big girls. We can make up our own minds, but this is strictly for accredited investors. And I want to also emphasize that he's not talking about a mutual fund or an ETF or anything like that. There's no big load that comes off the top. You're just selling real estate.
Yeah, and listen, that's our approach. I mean, that is, we can only accept you if you really want to do this. We're not looking to force you into a little space that maybe you're uncomfortable with. This is something that you'll discover, you'll sit and think about it, and you'll tell us whether or not you want to own it.
Okay, we got to take a break. Am I going to see Ted Turner when we're down there? Because he owns a bunch of this stuff, doesn't he?
Ted Turner owns millions of acres of timber all over the world.
All right. Alex Wilson, 855-888-6288. PreciousTimber.com is his website. If you want to discover the real estate, coconuts, and timber in Nicaragua, come with us. Come have fun. info@PreciousTimber.com. Alex, you're the man. Thank you for coming into the studio. We got to do this more often, buddy.
Yeah, it was fun. My pleasure.
All right, we'll invite Bobby Wooldridge back up because we've got some emails standing by. Stick around. 844-RAY-SHOW. Emails at raylucia.com, RAYLUCIA.com. He's the Brit that won't quit. Alex, take care, buddy.
Where the days are longer, the nights are stronger than moon.